your fun living holistic health coach, Kim Sit. And this is your report, your end of week 6 and week 7 report for my Best Breath Ever Experiment 2018, where I eliminate processed sugar and refined flour from my diet for 365 days. So how were these 2 weeks? So my last report was when I had gone to Langdon Hall and thought that that was the most spectacular place and the most wonderful food and service and company. It was an awesome experience. Well, in these last 2 weeks, let's see what's been going on. So at the time of writing my little report here, it was February 20th. I had a dental appointment. So anytime you have dental appointments, they restructure your mouth and something happens. I actually had some fillings. I can't believe that because I think that I've been eating really well and taking care of my body. Anyway, I just have to be thankful and grateful. I choose to be thankful and grateful that a compassionate doctor, a dentist, was able to look into my teeth and help me out there. So the challenges for this week were I had a lot of bodily aches and pains. And I just felt that time was just flying, doing so many appointments. There was a bug in our family in the last 2 weeks that's gotten us barfing. Not me, thank goodness. Mommy has to take care of everyone else. And just recently, this past weekend, we had Chinese and the Lunar New Year, where there was lots of deep fried food, refined flours. My mom really tried hard there. She made me food that did not have sugar. She made sure she didn't put in a sausage that normally has sugar in it. But I also know that she's not as aware as I am with refined flours. So she did put in some rice flour with a turnip cake that she made for me, turnip and taro cake, especially for me, no sugar added. And I said, oh, no, but there's refined flour. This is where I had to make a decision. My mom loves me so much. When am I going to have the time to taste this again? So I had it. It was great. It's one of these traditional foods that not all families know how to make. And so I'm just really grateful that growing up, my mom was able to make us food. We felt so rich and abundant in all these wonderful, delicious foods. Now, to stay true to this 365 days without refined flours, I think I should extend my 365 days until 2019 in February. What do you think? I'd like to hear what you think. So moving on with the challenges, I also found myself not wanting to get out of bed, and I would stay in bed late. And late to me is after 5 a.m., getting up after 5 a.m., because that really cuts into my alone time, my quiet time before I start the day with the kids. And then everything is just a whirlwind after that until we wind down. My observations about myself also is that I feel fluffy, meaning my body. I don't really want to call it fat because it could be fluid retention. I just feel puffed up, though not eating sugar and avoiding refined flours. I just find that really curious. So what am I going to do about it? Oh, and also I noticed that I still want and crave these salty, crunchy munchies. So I've been eating nuts. And nuts contain a lot of fat. Nuts are very high in calories, but you don't need to eat a lot of them to have a lot. So what I'm going to aim for, the goal for this week, is have 13 hours or more of consecutive hours of fasting. One thing that worked really well for me in the past is not having any food in the morning except for fruit if I decide to until about noon. So in the last 3 days, I have been making sure to leave at least a gap of 13 hours between my last meal of the day and my first meal of the day. And at the time of recording, it is February 21st now, Wednesday, I do feel a lot better today. and yesterday. Getting up, I feel fewer aches and pain. The fluffiness, I think, will come in time, which actually leads me into something I've discovered